13 heroes set out to kill the Demon King, but instead of saving the world, they destroyed it. Alicia dreams of becoming a hero, but her failure changed everything. The only solution? Hand over a single child to the beast, Clavites. Who is this child, and why is he humanity's last hope? Stick around. This story is nothing like you've heard before. Our story begins with a beautiful girl, training and practicing with her staff. Her name is Alicia. Meanwhile, her father, a skilled farmer, was tilling the field. He calls out, "Come on, let's go home." Then they return to their beautiful and modest home. In the evening, the father carves something, and Alicia asks her father a question. "Tell me, father, why is everything around the city of Edithia on this map black?" He tells her that the situation in that area is probably very dangerous, but they don't know what's there. We know there's something beyond the continent of Edithia, but dangerous dark beasts live in the dark places. And the 4 lords of the dark beasts who protect the east, west, north, and south have destroyed all the expeditions we sent. We have prevented the 4 dark lords from going to and beyond the reaches of Edithia for many years. But if the legend is true, there's an old legend that a hero will use a weapon given to him by King Haydn and defeat the 4 lords. Then people will know the true size of the world. Alicia asks him, "Are the dark beast lords strong?" Her father tells her, "Yes, they are very strong. It's said they can split the sky and earth. That's why heroes, or the hero, must obtain a special weapon from King Haydn. It's said this weapon is only given to heroes and makes its wielder much stronger." She says to him, "I want this weapon. I will become a hero one day and make the world much bigger." After that, the scene now shifts to this place or that carriage when it hits something, and the girl says, "Finally, father, it's time to find the answer to my dream." We infer that this girl is probably Alicia, and what we mentioned earlier was about her past with her father. After that, Katz talks about many treasures, while this is Horgus, and the other is Merlot and Migo. They are all from different countries and are talking about the heroine as the existence of a heroine is a surprise. Then they ask her where she is from, and they haven't heard her name yet, but Stefan interrupts them, saying, "I tell them we've arrived. We could be attacked at any moment. Stay on alert and keep your hands on the trigger." Then the carriage driver stops and tells them, "I'm sorry, heroes. The road has become too rough. The horses cannot go any further. You must proceed on foot." At that moment, a sudden attack comes, and they eat the horses in an instant, in a fraction of a second. The heroes quickly get out. Everyone takes their place and moves. They start aiming at their eyes and kill many of them. Then they advance quickly, killing everyone in front of them without mercy or pity. They are truly strong, but can they hold on for longer? And what about the king of those monsters? After that, powerful venomous snakes emerge and spray their deadly poison, but Stefan uses a powerful cutting wave and kills them all. After it cut off its head, it started to move and bite, but it was hit by an arrow in the eye by its friend. Finally, they reach the lair of the Dark Beast Lord, and if they reach the summit, they will be the first heroes to fulfill the legend we mentioned earlier. At that moment, the Demon King emerges. He was at the top and uses his high destructive power to shock the entire mountain. Yes, my friends, he is one of the 4 lords of the Dark Beasts, the ruler of the far south of Edithia. Here, Stefan steps forward and says, "I swear we will destroy him." But when they advanced, the monster instantly killed him as if he were a fly. Not only that, but things got worse and worse, and he killed them one by one. Alicia tells them that the attacks are coming from the shadows. "Everyone, get away from the shadows quickly, jump." Everyone started to pay attention, but one of them also died when he tried to attack it, and another was also killed in a very difficult way. Alicia was jumping from one point to another, trying to evade its attacks. Then the monster speaks and says, "What are these insects, and why have they come here? More than 1,000 years have passed." Then Alicia finally launches her decisive attack directly at its head, but it strikes her with a very powerful blow, severing her leg, as you can see. It's very difficult. Then she says, as she dies, "I'm so sorry, father. I failed. I couldn't get the answer to my dream." After that, we now move to the kingdom of Haydn, where we see some humanoids crafting a weapon. Then they look up. Perhaps something is coming. Yes, my friends, it's the decisive moment. A black wolf monster appears, exploding entire areas. The dark beast spreads terror and destroys the land. Its power is enormous. Then it tells them, "The heroes who invaded my land said that the king of Haydn chose them. This means the king is now in that castle. But I will kill everyone who stands in my way, just as they did before." The archers try to shoot at it, but it easily deflects them. Then it dashes at full speed, wanting to enter the fortress. Everyone prepares. Yes, it's war. They prepare and bring the catapults, firing with all their might. But it has no effect on it. Nothing affects it. It's very strong. They try again, but it's useless. At that moment, it kills them all. After that, one of the people enters the king and tells him, "Sir, you must escape quickly. The dark beast has besieged the castle, and he is now trying to storm the palace." The king says, "I can guess what it is." The heroes failed. The power of the Haydn blades, the Hydrat mana power, wasn't strong enough in my generation. Then one of the soldiers says, "The dark beast has reached the castle." He urges the king to escape quickly because they cannot stop it. The king replies, "If we cannot stop it, there's no point in fleeing. We will seal the furnace. The Haydn fire must not go out." Then we see the soldiers running, shouting, Open the eastern gates from 1 to 6. Bring out the connected catapults from 1 to 6. The second connected catapult company is in position. Target the beast clinging to the castle. Target quickly. Another soldier says to him, "But we will hit the castle. We cannot hit the royal castle with royal catapults." The second one speaks angrily. "All we have to do is protect the king and the king's furnace." Then the beast speaks. There is something different about the heroes, and the soldiers start firing arrows and weapons at it, but it deflects everything. The weapons, as I expected, those red blades hurt my horns. Even insects can pose a threat to them. If that's what distinguishes the human race, I must verify it myself before it grows stronger. We see the king open this gate, but the beast destroys it and enters the king's palace, saying to him, "I found you. You must be the king of Haydn." Then the king says to him, "A monster like you has no right to use human language." The Lord of the Dark Beasts tells him, "I will destroy the entire human race if I don't like your answer. Not just the people of Haydn, but Don, Org, Saladin, and Paint, all the nations and people of Adithia. Even if I kill you and destroy your nation, if the rest are like you, more will come to disturb my lands. So, I want to know the true nature of humans. You who wear flamboyant clothes and walk on 2 legs, what kind of creatures are you? Answer me!" The king replies, "A monster like you will never understand." The king doesn't finish his sentence, as the beast immediately cuts off his neck. The Lord of the Beasts then destroys the rest of the city, saying to himself, "I will first build an army and exterminate the humanoids." On his way, he hears a child crying loudly. He goes to it and realizes it's a child from Haydn. The child's mother asks the beast to save him. He tells her that he, Clefairies, has decided to destroy all humanoids. "If you want anything, it's that you gave birth to a human child in Haydn." She tells him that children cannot choose the time or place of their birth. Whatever atrocities adults have committed against you, that cannot be a reason for this child to die. What? He's too young to stand. The Lord of the Beasts replies, "From my point of view, a humanoid remains a humanoid. It doesn't matter if it's a child or an adult. He will carry a sword when he grows up and will come to harm us, the Dark Beasts. He won't be content with his current lands and will invade our lands. Moreover, he is dangerous and troublesome, so I will eliminate him." The beast takes the small child and says to him, "I'm still not convinced, but human life is just a moment from my perspective, so prove it to me." After that, we see this map, and in the land of Adithia, there are 5 humanoid races. The first is the Dawn race, who are the most numerous and skilled in architecture and military planning. They built 2 great nations that divided the Dawn Plain in the middle of the continent, Aslan and Bolit. The second of these races is the Org race, brave forest dwellers who excel in hunting and medicine. The third race is the Salada race. They don't like to interact with other races. The fourth race is the Paint race, a barbaric race that lives in the desolate lands, sleeping individually but divided in cohesion. The other race is the Haydn race. They are the oldest and most mysterious race. Their specialty was in the arts of refining and shaping metals. Haydn is a small nation in the middle of the mountains. They are the only ones capable of making weapons from magic stones, and the only ones who know the necessary techniques for that. They are the royal family who live in the capital, Hydrate. They have a long history of selling weapons to the Dawn race. These days, Haydn half-breeds are the most common. Pure Haydn individuals are rare. The world extends beyond the lands of Edithia, but these 5 races know nothing about it, because the Dark Beasts live outside the lands of Edithia, and their 4 lords block the way. After that, we go to Moon Mountain. We see many monsters in front of this small child, but the Lord of the Beasts comes and puts the small child to sleep, saying, "I can restore its strength, but that will only delay the inevitable. It won't solve the real problem. What is wrapped in this delicate form? I assume it's to protect its frail body, but it will soon be covered in its waste again." But the beast didn't know what it wanted, so the beast became annoyed and threw it into this hole. Then he takes it again, saying to him, "I promise you I will take care of you until you grow up, if I am to decide the fate of all humanoids living in the land of Adithia." Suddenly, Alicia wakes up from her sleep and wants to attack the Lord of the Beasts, but she doesn't have a sword. The beast tells her, "I threw the bodies of your companions and your weapons to the bottom of the ravine. You are now a walking corpse, empowered by the dark fluid I gave you." Alicia is surprised, saying, "What do you mean? How can you speak human language? Am I the only survivor?" The beast then asks her to nurse this infant because it's very hungry. The Dark Beast finds no milk in Alicia's breast as she is a virgin. He is puzzled by this. She informs him that only a mother who has given birth can produce milk. The Dark Beast becomes greatly annoyed. Alicia then asks him to kill her again and relieve her of this humiliation. He tells her she won't die because the dark fluid runs in her veins. The child begins to cry again. The Dark Beast uses its power to restore the child's energy, but it can do nothing about its hunger. Alicia asks him, "Why do you even have a human child?" But he doesn't answer her, and asks her for a solution to silence the child and satisfy its hunger. Alicia tells him, if he doesn't have a mother, you must find a wet nurse, who is a substitute for a mother. She produces milk if the mother can't. And if you don't know anyone, you must hire one with money or its equivalent, like these diamonds in this mountain. 1 diamond from this mountain is enough to hire a wet nurse. Alicia thinks that if she had her sword, she could attack him, but she is helpless because she can't move her body, as he controls it completely. He asks her to go together to hire the wet nurse. She tells him, Wait, you can't just go by yourself? If you go in this form, you'll cause panic in the entire city, and you'll never find your wet nurse. Give me this child. I'll go instead of you. She thinks to herself, I cannot allow this monster to approach a human village. I will find a wet nurse and give her the child. The dark beast refuses, not wanting her to die out of his sight. But this child might not grow into a healthy human because I'm holding him incorrectly, and then I won't be able to decide. At that moment, the beast transforms into a beautiful woman, the same appearance as the child's mother. Alicia is shocked by what happened to his body. The dark beast informs her, I control shadows, and this is a form for carrying this child. I've hidden the rest of my body. Then he hides his tails to become like an ordinary woman, except for a horn in the middle of his forehead. He then thinks of giving himself and the child names to move in the human world. The beast names himself Klin, and the little child, Luna. Then he learns the hero's name, and they then head towards the city. After that, we see Alicia cleaning the child, and the transformed beast orders her to clean it well and take extreme care. Then he orders her to take off her clothes and bathe in the river because her clothes are wet and might affect the child. He gives her the child's dirty cloth to wash with hers. She begins washing this piece of cloth and finds the emblem of the Haydn royal family on it. She realizes that this child is from the royal family. On the other hand, we see this young man riding his horse, wondering what happened in the city and how one dark beast did all this. He blames the king for sending warriors and provoking the dark beasts upon them. He says that the princess's fear was justified, and the plan was for her to escape the castle with her son, meaning the little child is the princess's son. But this young man doesn't know what happened and calls out, "Is anyone alive?" But no one answers him. On the other hand, we see this gang, and their leader is named General Drill. He orders one of his followers to send a messenger to inform the emperor that the legend has fallen with the destruction of Hydrate Castle and the probable death of the king. We must move to another place. There's a possibility of dark beasts gathering from the south as well, since it's undefended. But more importantly are the secrets of Arkansite crafting, which only the Haydn royal family knows. We must not let another nation steal them before us. I will return to the border and restructure our armies. This general then orders one of his followers, named Maynard, to stay here and search for survivors of the royal family and their relatives, and to capture them alive if he finds any of them. The scene then shifts to Alicia, who screams and holds this garment high, saying that this child is from the royal family and only members of the royal family are allowed to wear this emblem. This means this child carries royal blood. Did you know that when you kidnapped him? The transformed beast informs her, I did not kidnap this child. Before him, no child looked like this form I'm in. Alicia is surprised and calls him a liar. The transformed beast replies, I'm telling the truth. I found him under the rubble of the destroyed castle. The castle was destroyed while I was killing the king of Haydn. Alicia is greatly shocked that he killed the king. That's because you attacked us first? Alicia tells him, if the king is dead and this child is from the royal family, everyone will search for him because it's said that only the kings of Haydn can master the art of Arkansite crafting. The transformed beast realizes that this crafting is the making of the weapons they were fighting him with. I was wondering why I decided to raise this child, but I understand now that he carries a fate of blood he cannot resist. It's also interesting. So I will make him king and then I will support him in ruling from the shadows. I never had an interest in ruling, but if I'm going to observe humanoids, I'd rather do it from a high position. It will be fun to put my servants in power too, so I can destroy them whenever I want. Alicia is very afraid of this talk and thinks deeply about it and the fate of the world after this. But he is very interested in this child, and if he is taken or killed, it's probable that all humans will be killed. I must prevent that. This is my last mission as a hero. They then continue walking to search for this wet nurse. Suddenly, bandits appear, and one of them attacks the transformed beast off guard. Alicia warns him, but he takes the blow to the head and the rest of the bandits gather around them. Alicia says with dismay, they are bandits and their fate is inevitable death. But suddenly, something strange happens. Blood pours from the transformed beast and he falls to the ground, bleeding heavily. Alicia is greatly shocked by this situation. One of them hits her on the head, and she also loses consciousness. They capture them all. What will happen in the next episode? What is the fate of Alicia and this transformed beast? Is this a trick from him, or is this form very weak for him? We will find out in the next episode, so stay tuned. And please subscribe to the channel and activate the bell icon to receive all new updates. Our episode begins with Alicia waking up, held captive with Klin in a wagon, along with many other prisoners. Klin, however, appears calm. Alicia asks him why he's so calm, and he tells her that the important thing is that little Luna is fine. She just cried a little and then fell asleep. Alicia approaches him and asks him what exactly is happening, and why the blow he received before being captured was enough to knock him out so easily. She notes that he certainly isn't as weak as humans when he transforms into one of them. Klin tells her that's not true, of course. He was just surprised that this delicate skin and fragile body were much weaker than he expected. Alicia asks him why they don't escape now. He tells her that he is human now and will remain so until Luna is crowned queen. And he will hide his true identity until then. He also wants to see the nature of humans. He then asks Alicia to explain what's happening now. Alicia tells him that bandits attack them, and it seems they are taking them to slave traders. She explains that the bandits are bad humans and never hesitate to use dirty tricks to achieve their goals. And he shouldn't generalize all humans based on these scoundrels, as there are many good people. They then arrive at their destination and get out of the wagon. When one of the prisoners tries to escape, a bandit stabs him, killing him, and they threaten everyone that they will kill anyone who tries to escape. Then, one of the gang members takes Alicia. We then see a woman named Carmi calling out to Clint, surprised that he's with a baby girl, and invites him into her house. She then calls her servant, Nell, stating that her job is to take care of children. We then move to the room of Chief Froko. Guards enter with Alicia, but one of the guards calls him by his name. The chief gets angry and tells him never to call him by his name, but rather Chief, because their previous chief, Zezek, left and never returned, and he is now in his place. He warns that if no one calls him Chief, he will fire them all, and it won't be him doing it, but rather the beast Betty. When Alicia sees the beast Betty, she's impressed, because it's a dark beast from the west, and she's surprised that the chief raises one as if it were a pet. The chief then takes a bag full of red stones and approaches Alicia, saying, "I was told you brought these from Mount Luna, the dwelling of Clephates, one of the 4 dark beast lords. I was told that King Haydn sent 13 heroes here with sacred treasures, but they failed. One of those soldiers was a woman, and you can't find anything of this purity in human lands. Is this a coincidence? Are you among the 13 soldiers who went there?" He then asks her if she knew that Clephates attacked Hydrate and destroyed its castle. The chief then pulls out his blade, and Alyssa is surprised because that red blade can only be made by the kings of Haydn, and the redder it is, the purer it is. It's said that using weapons made from it makes the wielder much stronger. He then tells her that this blade is fake. They don't just sell slaves, but also fake weapons, because most people are foolish and can't tell the difference between fake and real. He tells her that there are 2 ways to collect sacred treasures. Either become a hero recognized by the king, or steal one from a dead hero, which is easier. However, most heroes die at the hands of dark beasts in their lands, making it impossible to find them after death. He then asks Alicia where her sacred treasure is, and where the treasures of the other 12 heroes are, but Alicia refuses to answer. The chief tells his guards to make her talk and lead them to the sacred treasure tomorrow, as she is the only key to finding the 13 treasures. They then leave. We then see Clint in the restaurant, working as a servant, serving meat to everyone, and they mock him. We then see Carmi talking to her friend about Clint, saying he's a strange boy and that horn on his head made her think he had ogre blood, but he's very pale and his body is weak. We then see the girl Nell carrying a drink, and one of the guards deliberately knocks her down and takes her outside to punish her. They beat her and leave her. Clint immediately kills them and hides them. Nell approaches him and Clint tells her to take care of the baby and that he wants to talk to her a little. They then sit together and get to know each other more. Nell tells him that she has been here with the Ravens since birth and doesn't know who her father is. She had a mother, but she always saw her from behind and doesn't remember her face at all. Her mother was a slave and the bandits always beat her. Then she disappeared after a while and she doesn't know if she escaped or died. But after that, everyone started hurting her instead of her mother, and she lost most of her teeth and became deaf in one ear from all the beating. At that time, she realized that her mother was protecting her and they were always treated like animals. Things got a little better when Carmi came and taught her how to deal with those men, and things became less bad than before, and she got a job taking care of children. Clint asks her that if she gave birth, she can breastfeed children, so where is her child? Nell tells him that she gave birth to a stillborn child, and when she learned he was dead, the world became black in her eyes and she felt as if she was being pulled to the bottom of the earth, and she wished to die. But when she started taking care of small children, she felt that she was created for these weak ones, and started imagining that they were her children. Clint then asks her to come with him. He will hire her as Luna's nurse, as he trusts no one here but her, and it seems Luna has grown fond of her too. Nell thought about it, looking surprised. Clint spoke to her again, saying, "Come on, think. I want to hear your answer. Will you come with me as Luna's nurse, or will you stay here as a servant to the slaves, who I'm told are scum?" Nell replied, "Honestly, I'm very happy with this offer, but in the end, you're a slave and won't be able to bring me much money. So I'll stay here. I have to take care of the children who will come in the future. I'm so sorry." She then handed him the baby and left. On the other hand, we see the heroine, Alicia, trying to cross a bridge with those foolish bandits. She stops and thinks, and one of them strikes her lightly with his sword, saying, "Come on, move, are you thinking of jumping? The walls of this place slope inwards. You'll hit the rocks before you reach the lake." Then they watch a man who wants to challenge that lake and go under it to reach a magic mine, only about 2 meters deep under the water. But it's a very dangerous matter. Everyone says, "Oh, how foolish. He's really stupid." His wife was waiting for him outside, saying, "Do your best, darling." But he didn't know his end or his fate. He jumps into the water and Alicia is surprised, saying, "Is he crazy? The entire entrance is underwater and there are some very powerful monsters. He'll never survive." Indeed, in just moments, a monster eats him and even leaps into the air, taking another. Yes, my friends, they are Arvance's dark monsters, hovering in the area. They came with the floods 300 years ago, so they abandoned this mine. Even Kodwar, the strongest hero of his time, couldn't defeat them, and at that time, there was still land to fight. His weapon, Current Cutter, was named so because it split a waterfall in front of the king of Haydn. One of them said to her, "I didn't know a sword could have a name. Does your sword have a name too?" She told him, "There's no reason for me to tell you that. Tell me, you fool. You promised them freedom, but why are you putting a rope on a slave and tying him up? That means you'll never free him and won't let him leave alive." I can imagine what scum like you are thinking. You're like the children of Zion, you never keep your promises. The other replies, don't interfere in others' affairs, and focus on your own situation. You'll never be free. There are restraints on your wrists, and also iron balls on your legs, and you're on a bridge, and many more are waiting for you on the other side. Everyone is excited to hear the Miss Heroine scream like a pig. Then this clown comes and jumps in front of her, shaking the entire bridge. They tell him, you idiot, the bridge might collapse. Don't act crazy. He tells them, I don't care about anything because I see a female and I want to tear her clothes and rape her in front of everyone. The other woman gets extremely angry, then tries to break free of her restraints, hits him hard, and cuts the bridge rope, and they both fall as lifeless bodies. Will this be the end? Wait for us in the next episode to find out what will happen. But you must subscribe to the channel and activate the bell button to receive all new updates. Episode today begins with the bandits, after they threw Alicia, leading to her death. They are thinking of a solution, because if Fruko finds out she died, he will kill them, as she was supposed to lead them to the 13 holy treasures. Then, suddenly, we see Alicia open her eyes. She's alive, but can't feel anything in her body. She wonders, what's happening to me? What happened to my body? Have my bones shattered and impaled something? What is this blood? What can I do? If I don't do something, these thieves will get to me. Suddenly, blood gushes from her head and forms into the demon Clephatus, who tells her, you've bled a lot, you fool. Alicia is surprised and asks him, why do you look like such a small puppy? He informs her that his form is determined by the amount of dark fluid. The dark fluid is what keeps her alive, and if she loses it all, she will die instantly. He tells her, of course, as long as you deserve to stay alive, I will forcibly return it to your body if I have to. And if you do that, anything that hasn't been completely lost will be restored as it was. She asks him, why didn't you do that? Did you abandon me? He tells her that he found the perfect nurse for Luna while they were separated by the bandits. This nurse's name is Neil, and she works with the thieves. From the perspective of a dark monster like him, she's not treated well, so he thought she would gladly accept an offer to be hired. But she refused his offer without even thinking. He asks her, why did she do that? Alicia tells him, because she surely thought he was a slave with a child. She didn't trust his words. People like these thieves don't let anyone go, so she was afraid to leave with him, because they would follow her and kill her. The safest way is to crush all those thieves. If he does that, no one will follow Neil, and she will accept his offer. He tells her that he cannot allow anyone to know that he left Mount Luna, and he doesn't want anyone to attack during his absence, or wonder why he is here, especially since he is raising Luna. He then orders her to do it, to slaughter these thieves who call themselves ravens. No one will suspect a hero who slaughters a gang of thieves. Alicia tries to refuse, but Clephatus doesn't give her a chance, and enters her body as blood once again. We see her body beginning to heal, and her broken bones mend. Just then, a group of thieves arrives and are surprised by what happened. They decide they will capture her alive and force her to tell them the location of the 13 holy treasures. Then, one of the thieves attacks Alicia. As he was about to strike her with his sword, she grabs his hands, strikes him, takes his sword, and prepares for battle. Then we see Clay carrying Luna, telling her that he will try to convince Neil again to be her nanny. Next we see Neil returning home, and Carmi scolds her for being late. Neil tells her she was late because she was feeding the baby. Carmi tells her the kitchen needs cleaning, but notices that Neil is in a good mood, even though she has a bruise on her eye from the thieves. She asks her what happened. Neil looks at her and asks, what's the outside world like, Calmi? You came here from the outside, but I was born with the ravens and know nothing about the outside world, so I wonder what it's like and what it feels like to live there. Carmi tells her, most women here, aside from me, lost their homes outside or did something bad and ended up here. I don't have any good memories of the outside. Why are you asking me this now? Are you thinking of leaving, Neil? Neil gets nervous and tells her she's not thinking of leaving at all, but is curious about the outside world. Someone asks her to go with him to the outside. While they are talking, we see Chief Fruko listening to them. When Carmi learns that a slave suggested to Neil that she go out into the outside world with him, she hits her and tells her that will never happen. She will stay here and die here. Chief Fruko enters, and Carmi is surprised and asks him what brought him here. He tells her he came to see something special she supposedly has, the little girl Luna. Neil tells him she's in the stable. Chief Fruko leaves and asks Neil to go with them, Carmi said. Wait, sir, you shouldn't take her, she pleaded. The other woman, knowing the consequences well, told him to wait, but he just gave her a glance and ignored her, leaving the place. Neil had no idea of her fate. Write in the comments what Neil's fate is. After that, Neil's friend became furious. Damn it, she's the only one who can nurse the babies. How are we supposed to feed the children now? Do they think every woman can breastfeed? At that moment, Klain, the Demon King, appeared, carrying the child Luna. The woman told him, she can't get any milk anymore. The wet nurse is gone for good. She messed things up herself. She wished for something she couldn't have. It's her fault. What does that mean? He asked her. The woman then told him everything. The scene quickly shifts to the gang leader, or rather, the slave king, with Neil. They were descending into a crypt. What is this strange place? She asked him. I've been here my whole life and never knew this place existed. He told her that this was formerly an Arcanocite mine. This strange material can be used for many purposes other than making swords. I spent years researching it before joining the Ravens organization. At that moment, Neil found a skull bone and was surprised. The Slave King told her not to worry, it was probably rat bones or something similar. "And now, I'm going to tell you about something I've been researching," he said, then turned off the light. "Sir, where are you, Master Furuko? It's pitch black and I can't see anything," she exclaimed. "I'll light the lamp right away," he replied. At that moment, he lit the lamp and surprised her with something very strange, a giant monster. "Now, I will tell you about my field of research," he said. "I've been using a mixture of arcanocite powder with various other medicines and using it to control dark monsters. And now, we are going to punish the traitors, and you are one of them. You wished for something you shouldn't have wished for, and your punishment is execution. You will be this monster's dinner tonight. No, not tonight, right now, this very moment." He then ordered the monster to eat her. The monster indeed swallowed her, and she remembered Klain saying, "Come on, I'll get you out of this utter darkness." But perhaps this is the end, my friends, as the monster devoured her. At that moment, Klain appeared and said to little Luna, "I'm so sorry, I couldn't feed you today. Your wet nurse has been devoured." The boy cried loudly, Klain told him. "Don't cry, little one. Eating and praying are the order of this world. This applies to animals, humans, and of course, dark monsters too. If they are hungry, they must eat or die. That's how the world is. Survival of the fittest, my friend." Poirot was surprised and said, "Who is this child?" But Klain didn't answer him and looked at the large monster, saying, "Perhaps it will get its punishment now." However, the Slave King ordered the monster to devour Klain, but the monster was terrified, thrashing left and right. At that moment, Neil emerged from its insides. Then, Betty vomits Neil. When Klain looks at her, he knows she's barely breathing. He places Luna next to her, telling her that he has neutralized her stomach acid, so he wants her to stay by her side, granting her peace until her last moments. At that moment, Neil and Luna move away. The Slave King asks him, "Where did the child and the woman go? What trick did he use? Is he using a specific magic or not?" Klain doesn't understand his words. The Slave King angrily orders him not to pretend to be foolish, saying that while magic is still a topic of discussion, he doesn't think he's just a stupid old man, as his generation invented the basics of magic. And then he asks him to observe this, as he will teach him the basics of magic. He then tells him that this powder is made of arcanocite, some herbs and crushed larvae of a long-legged parasitic fly. These larvae have the effect of destroying the mind's ability to think and allow control over it. It just took time to refine, of course, and the only thing that can be completely controlled is a female troll. But one day, he will control all dark monsters, and this is his magic, as magic is the term he uses for a new technique that allows them to use arcanocite to control any natural phenomenon. At that moment, a foul smell emanates from the bottle. Betty smells it, and the Slave King orders him to crush Klain. Betty indeed runs towards Klain and punches him hard in the face, causing him to bleed. Klain becomes very angry because Alicia didn't tell him anything about magic. Then we see Alicia hitting these men. Alicia remembers that time when she was playing with her father, where her father tells her that her fist must be strong and her wrists relaxed when striking with a sword. Alicia asks him how she can become stronger. Her father tells her that she must never hesitate to hurt her enemy, never hesitate to use her techniques, and never hesitate to endure pain. Hesitation makes the body stiff, and that stiffness makes her strike slower and weaker. Once the stiffness disappears, she becomes much stronger, and most importantly, she must trust her sword. Then we return again to Alicia hitting the men. Everyone is astonished by her strength. Is she even human, they wonder. "If we can't defeat her with technique, we'll defeat her with words," a man shouts, then attacks her, breaking her sword. "These swords are too brittle for use," she says, unfazed, and rises again. She quickly flees from them. Their numbers are too great, more than 50 men. "I can't fight them all without stopping. Even if I'm immortal, my energy depletes quickly. In fact, it seems the dark fluid that heals me also drains my energy. What will happen if I get too tired and can't run? They could catch me. They could do anything to me, and I wouldn't die. No one knows what horrors they might commit. I have to end this quickly. I need that legendary sword." She keeps running, and they chase after her, noticing where she's headed. When one man sees her going towards a jumping platform, his friend says, "She can't be that stupid. That lake is full of the dark beasts that killed the legendary hero. No one has come out alive from there in 300 years. Alicia thinks. Just as I suspected, she's waiting for someone to fall. I've learned over the years. She escapes upwards, then jumps, breaking all the pillars and announcing, "It's feeding time, Arvensis water dark beasts. Anyone who falls will be eaten." Everyone gets eaten, while she is safely hidden in a box, unseen. "I have one advantage the legendary hero didn't," she says. "Even if I suffocate, I won't die. I emptied all the air from my lungs before I jumped. Now I just have to bear the pain until I reach the bottom of the lake, where the legendary sword lies." Thus ends today's episode of this anime. Wait for us in the upcoming episodes. If you liked the video, don't forget to subscribe and activate the bell icon to receive all new updates. Our episode begins with Alicia underwater, thinking to herself, "I knew this wouldn't be fun, but the lack of air to breathe is unbearably painful. My head is going numb, I can't see, and my body is completely urging me to start flailing my arms. My mind knows I won't die, but my body resists to stay alive despite that. Hold on until you find the sword. Alicia then reaches the bottom and sees a red light at the seabed. She moves towards it, saying, "My body is so heavy it's numb and feels like lead. But once I reach the holy sword, it will make me stronger." She gets closer to the sword and tries to grasp it, but a very large red eye appears. She realizes she isn't at the bottom of a lake. She's above a massive dark beast underwater. When Alicia tries to take the sword, the beast pulls her towards it and she enters its mouth. She then remembers her father's words, encouraging her to fight, telling her she's very strong and can do the impossible. Alicia manages to escape the beast's mouth and takes the sword. Red magical power emanates from the sword. Alicia waves the sword in a straight line and swims away from the beast, saying, "The reason the legendary hero lost in an environment where he had the advantage was likely this massive thing. This is a beast so huge it's hard to believe it's from this world. It must be ancient." There were rumored dark beasts that lived for tens of thousands of years, slept for long periods, and rarely appeared. This must have been extracted by chance during arcane site mining. Hero Kudwar lost without even realizing what he was facing. "Even with the holy treasure boosting my strength, I still don't have oxygen. First, I need to breathe." Alicia tries to get out of the water and succeeds. The guards see that she has successfully obtained the holy sword. Suddenly, the black beast emerges from the water, terrifying everyone. It attacks and kills the guards. Alicia uses her sword to cut off a tip of the beast's leg, but one hero cannot fight an ancient beast from the beginning. She decides to flee. As she's leaving, one of the guards calls out to her, begging her to save them and apologizing, but Alicia refuses to help them and escapes quickly. The beast then devours them. Alicia looks at the beast and realizes it only lives in water and doesn't come out. But she's happy she got the holy sword. Suddenly, she hears Kellen's voice calling her, but he's not there. He reassures her, telling her he's talking to her through dark liquid. He says, "I didn't see it myself, but the blood tells me you're done and got the sword, but it seems it was difficult." She tells him she ran out of oxygen and had to deal with an ancient beast. She gets angry at him for not helping her when he noticed. Kellen apologizes and tells her he's facing a small problem, and part of this problem is why he's in human form and struggling with a technique he hasn't seen before. He asks her why she hid the existence of magic from him, saying he'll punish her when he sees her. We then see Chief Faroko running away from Kellen. He wonders about this young man and what school he came from to have such superhuman strength. While running, he trips and sees Neil lying on the ground with the little girl Luna beside her. Alicia arrives at Kalen and asks him, "What's this smoke?" Kalen asks her, "What's that sword in your hands?" Alicia angrily tells him she'll never leave it or give it up, as she risked her life to get it. Kayleen says, "Okay, never mind. The problem is this smoke. It seems ordinary animals like this aren't affected, and neither are you. It only affects the senses of dark beasts, and I can't smell anything, and my ears are ringing. This is disgusting. How can I get rid of it? This place is so cramped, and I don't know where Luna is either. She should be ahead, but she's not in our sight. She's with Neil, who's barely alive." Kalen then asks Alicia to act as she knows about magic. Alicia tells him she knows about it but doesn't have the talent to confront or use it. Some people can use it and some cannot. Arcana Sight magic is used in everything he does, and for most people, it's just an ordinary stone. Still, some people, if they use it correctly, can extract its hidden power, as they say. For her, it's just an ordinary stone, but some of the heroes he killed could use this magic. Kellen leaves to search for Luna. Alicia asks him what he'll do if Luna is dead. He angrily tells her he won't do anything, but will lose any interest he had in humanity and destroy everyone. Alicia realizes that he will destroy humanity and Luna is the only thing delaying that. They then start searching together. Alicia finds a bloodstain, and Kellen tells her that Neil was bleeding. He tried to stop the bleeding, but she shouldn't have moved at all. Either she crawled somewhere, or something dragged her. Either way, she couldn't have gone far. We then see Chief Faroko carrying the girl Luna. Neil tries to prevent him from escaping with her, and holds onto his cloak. The chief hits her to make her let go, but Neil refuses. Faroko then decides he will cut off her wrist and pulls out his sword, because he wants to escape with Luna as he realized she has magical energy. At that moment, Alicia arrives and tells him to stop. Faroko is surprised, and asks her what happened to his guards. Kellen tells him they died. The chief gets angry at them and tells them not to come closer or he'll cut off the girl Luna's fingers with his sword. Alicia asks Kellen not to interfere at all and that she will handle it. She tells him she will make a deal with him and shows her holy sword. She tells him she will give him that sword in exchange for the girl Luna. She brought it from the bottom of the sea with difficulty. She throws it far away and it lands inside the rocks. She asks him to leave Luna and go take the sword. Faroko laughs and tells her he never imagined that a hero would abandon a holy treasure so easily. He is now certain that this child has royal blood from Hayden, and never intended to give her up. However, if she wants to take the child, she must tell him about all the holy treasures. Alicia tells him that all 13 holy swords are at the bottom of the valley in the Great Cave on Luna Mountain. When Faroko learns this, he uses a teleportation spell and disappears with the child Luna, starting to move to escape them. Suddenly, Alicia knows his location and takes her holy sword and kills him. She tells him she knew his location from Luna's crying and splits him in half. Kellen then takes Luna. We see Alicia asking Kellen if he can save Neil. If Luna is fine now, it's thanks to her. Kellen tells her he cannot control more than one person with the dark liquid, and her body is missing many parts, and he would have to compensate it from somewhere. Alicia gets angry and tells him that it is essential to heal Luna. Kellen tells her that if he does that, it will lead to her death. Alicia tells him she doesn't care. She is a hero, and it is her duty to sacrifice her life for the hopes and future of the people she is supposed to protect. Kellen agrees and removes the dark liquid from Alicia's body. Alicia falls to the ground and dies. We then see Neil's body recovering, and she wakes up from her death, surprised that she is still alive. Kellen tells her to thank the hero Alicia because she is the reason for bringing her back to life, but she will wake up soon as her body has started to rot. She is strong for a human. Then suddenly, Alicia's body starts to move. She recovers and wakes up again. Halen then gives Luna to Neil and tells her that her name from now on is not Neil, but Neil Loro, and she will come with them wherever they go. Neil Loro is very happy and agrees. Thus ends our episode today of this anime. To follow more episodes, please subscribe to the channel and activate the bell icon to receive all new updates. The 5th chapter begins with Clint informing Alicia that he will confiscate the sacred sword. He explains that its presence will draw too much attention to her. Alicia is immediately distraught and refuses, but Clint ignores her pleas and hides the sword. Alicia is saddened, and Clint reassures her that he will return it when she truly needs it. Suddenly, Nilaru arrives with the young girl Luna. Nilaru tells Clint she's ready for their journey and has gathered everything they'll need, even dressing Luna in new clothes. Alicia asks if carrying so many bags and Luna is a heavy burden for Nilaru, but Nilaru replies that she feels remarkably light. Alicia realizes that Nilaru must have lost a significant portion of her body, and that Clint replaced it with parts of a large, muscular human. Nilaru then approaches Alicia and offers to carry her sword and shield if she wishes. Alicia thanks her but explains she no longer has a sword. Nilaru recalls Carmi once telling her that Chief Firoku kept all the good swords in his office, suggesting Alicia could sneak in and get one. Alicia is excited and asks Clint for permission, which he grants, allowing her to retrieve one sword. As Nilaru walks with Clint, he tells her that Alicia is incredibly strong, having eliminated the bandits and cleared out the area. Nilaru responds that she won't miss anything about this place, as she never saw anything good there except for the fact that it was where she lived with her poor mother. She only wished she could have said goodbye to Carmi. Suddenly, a man descends from the sky and declares to Clint, "I've found you." Meanwhile, Alicia barges into Firoku's office to find a sword. She discovers some money and takes it, then finds a powerful and sharp sword, not a sacred one, but still formidable. As she's about to leave, the wall of the room suddenly collapses and Clint enters. The mysterious man appears and attacks Alicia. She realizes he's incredibly strong and dodges all his attacks, making him realize her strength. He then uses his power to strike her and throw her out of the building. He stands before her and tells her he only wants the child Luna. If she lets him take Luna, he'll let her live. Alicia tells him not to underestimate her, as she is a sacred hero. She uses her superhuman strength on the sword and attacks the man. As she's about to kill him, Clint uses his power to control their movements and stops the fight. Alicia is angry that he intervened. Clint explains it's a misunderstanding and tells Nilaru to take Luna inside. Clint then informs Alicia that the man is a dark beast who has taken human form, but he is something else inside and currently under a powerful illusion that prevents him from even seeing his true form. His true form has wings and claws, and only one creature can use such powerful illusions: the Lord of the Western Dark Beasts, Zafthar of Illusions. The man asks Clint who he is and how he knows all this information. Clint introduces himself as a servant of one of the Dark Beast lords, who, like him, has taken human form. Alicia realizes that Clint is hiding his true identity from the Dark Beasts. The man then states that their goal is the same and transforms into his original form, telling Clint that Lady Zafthar is considering human annihilation, just as Cleophas incinerated an entire human city. He introduces himself as Gart, a servant of Lady Zafthar. He asks Clint to show him proof that he is indeed a dark beast. Gart then reveals his powerful tail, which is enough proof for Gart. Gart then returns to human form. Alicia is terrified, realizing she is standing before two dark beasts who can easily transform into humans. She wonders if there are others, and if this means the sacred heroes haven't been fighting the real battle, and the human world is smaller than she imagined. Clint then tells Alicia that there are no other dark beasts who can transform into humans. Alicia is startled that he knew her thoughts. Gart asks Clint why he is accompanying this human, a sacred hero, their enemy. Clint replies that she was once a hero but is now his servant, as he cast a spell on her, making her obedient to him and helping him understand human nature. Gart states he's not interested in any of that, but warns that if Alicia, Nilaru, or the little girl Luna stand in his way, he will kill them. Clint retorts that he won't let Gart live if he even touches them. Clint then says it's his turn to ask questions. "What do you mean your lady is considering human annihilation? I know her well. She's eccentric and loves observing humans, and the ogres in the forests worship her as a goddess. What has changed?" Alicia thinks to herself that Clint is right. That's why the heroes never go to the western region and cannot cross the forest without the cooperation of the ogres. Gart explains that 3 days ago he was flying in the sky and saw two beasts searching for their young, greatly distressed. For some time, young beasts have been disappearing. This is the 9th disappearance of a young dark beast without a reason, and he doesn't know why, but he's sure humans are involved. He recounts standing before Lady Zathar, who told him they would never trust humans and it's better to infiltrate and spy on them. She ordered him to go to the human world and, if necessary, humanity would be completely destroyed. Returning to the present, Gart tells them that the young beasts disappeared in the southern mountains and he came here looking for clues. Klin tells him he had to kill a troll when it attacked him. Klin suggests that more young beasts might be kidnapped, and remembers Carmy saying that women here are forbidden from having children, so people always come to buy children. Strange people in black cloaks who always mention something about talent. She saw Mr. Furoku meet with them some time ago and knows nothing else, which is why she killed Neil's 3 children that she bore. She did it to protect those children, as death was better than being sold to those men. Returning to the present, Klin tells Gart that someone is buying children from here and also kidnapping young dark beasts. These two events seem unrelated at first glance, but there is a connection. Those who were buying children were connected to Furoku, who had a pet troll, and this talent is that magic is deeply involved in this. Alicia says she knows nothing about magic, it's not her field, but it seems like something those who use magic as a tool of war do. They have appeared in the past few years and changed the way battles are fought. In the Dawn Plains, where Polit and Aislinn are currently fighting, the skill of the magician often determines who wins. The first to bring them to the battlefield was General Drill, the Dragon Slayer, and that general was the cause of her father's death. Klin then asks her, "Did you come to kill me, instead of killing the man who killed your father, Alicia?" Alicia replies that it was her father's wish. The scene shifts to the east of Highgate, where Aislinn's camp is located. Commander Rod is directing the army when Miguel arrives and informs him that their forces have annihilated the vanguard, and Polit's army, led by Drill, continues to advance south. They number 1,000 soldiers and will try to occupy Haydn. Rod tells him they only have 6,000 soldiers, which is not enough, and Drill's army will take 3 days to reach here. They are now heading directly to Highgate, and the fortress has a large gate to the east and a smaller one to the west. They will fight with all their might, but this will require Haydn's cooperation, and they sent messengers but received no reply, so the situation there is clearly dire. Miguel asks if the rumors about Cleophadis' attack on the castle are true. Rod believes so, and says they sent Polit Drill, their strongest general, and they are likely after the royal smelter. With this smelter, they can create a sacred treasure, and it would be very bad if they took it. This smelter is also the oldest magical artifact in the world, and anyone interested in magic would desire its secrets more than anything else, as he was told. Miguel tells him that Polit's magical forces are much stronger than theirs, and it will be terrible if they take it, and they must stop them. Then, a guard rushes in and informs Rod that the large eastern gate is opening now. We then see General Drill standing before the guard Maynard. Maynard tells him that King Haydn was killed and the crown prince is safe elsewhere. The problem now is the 6-month-old son, the only child confirmed to have royal blood, who was taken by a tall boy with black hair and is now missing. However, the Ravens have just informed him that they found a child from Haydn matching the description. The general tells Maynard, "You are the strongest magician in our army. Go now and bring that boy." This concludes our episode. To follow more episodes, please subscribe to the channel and activate the bell icon to receive all new updates. The next morning, Nell offers Clevitas a cup of coffee and asks where Gart might have gone. Clevitas tells her that he flew off to report what he's learned about magic and wizards to his master. He then tells Nell to act cool, insisting that Gart is no longer suspicious of her anymore. Soon, Alicia returns after questioning all the merchants in town, and she reveals that Haydn is a complete mess. From what she's gathered so far, the Bolet country broke past the Haydn border and invaded it. Hein's remaining forces are trying their best to fight back, but since their king is already dead, there's no chance of them winning. As for the Elan country, they tried to stop Bolet's forces at Haydn's border, but it didn't work. Curious, Clevitas asks why Isam would risk resisting Bolet, and Alicia explains that both countries have been at war for ages, and Lynn is weaker in terms of magic. They fear that Bolet will become unstoppable if they acquire Haydn's forge. But Alicia reveals that even if Haydn still has control over the forge, they lack the magical knowledge to use it without their king, since they've never had wizards. Apparently, the late king forbade the use of magic within his borders. After explaining this, Alicia joins Clevitas to share a cup of coffee, while Nell takes Luna away to feed him. As she walks, Alicia takes a liking to her, revealing that she likes everything about her. So Clevitas thinks she swings that way, and playfully reminds her that no amount of scissors would make them have kids together. This throws Alicia off guard, as she struggles to defend herself. So she clears the air by saying that she's happy that her sword was able to put a smile on Nell's face. She then asks Clevitas what he plans to do next, since Luna becoming king will be meaningless if Haydn is completely wiped out. She adds that the Haydn royal bloodline holds the secrets to refining Aranesite ore, which is why Bolet is after Luna. She points out that General Drell leads the Bolet army and that he went out of his way to unalive her father when he retired. Back then, in Drell's twisted quest for power, he challenged and defeated Alicia's father, who was also his best friend. So when Alicia wanted to walk the path of revenge, her dying father begged her not to do it. Instead, he told her to become a hero and allow him to see the rest of the world. Presently, Alicia tells Clevitas that the only way to protect Haydn is for him to drive off the Bolet army. So, Clevitas decides to leave right away. But he forbids Alicia from joining him since he wants her to protect Nell and Luna before leaving. Alicia wonders if it's a bad thing to seek revenge for her father despite his last words to her. She feels she's not a hero anymore, but Clevitis tells her he never once told her to stop being one. With that, Clevitis assumes his true form and travels, heading for Hayden. Elsewhere, General Drell breaks past Hayden's second fortress, so Aeson's soldiers begin to charge in his direction to prevent him from reaching Hydrat. Meanwhile, after Luna falls asleep, Nell joins Alicia in a small settlement in the city, where some folks beat up a bandit. As the bandit begs for his life, he sees Alicia from a distance and tries to reveal who she is, but she fades into a corner before the people can see her. Sadly, the bandit bites the dust. And while he hung with his other comrades, the townsfolk wonder if the story about a monster attacking the bandit's lair is true or not. As a result of the imminent war, the people decide to arm themselves with weapons to make sure that no one invades their lands. Later that afternoon, Alicia arrives at an inn and two dudes, Pete and Phil, begin to question who she is. Before anything bad can happen, their mother Kari shows up and scolds them for being rude. She then questions Alicia's identity, and at first sight, she figures out that Luna is a pure-blooded Haydn. So Alicia tells her that someone only hired her to protect the baby and she's just looking for a place to lay low. Fortunately, Kari lets her in and charges her some coins for a room, while her sons helps to carry Nell's bags. While they settle in, a bug arrives at their window, and from its eyes, Maynard confirms that Luna is Haydn's missing royal blood. So, he sends all of his bugs to pinpoint the baby's exact location. Later that evening, when dinner is ready, Alicia heads downstairs to get her meal. But her mood shifts when she hears the men at the bar talking about the late king. They mock the heroes and the king for failing to defeat Clevitis and joke about how they died. Though this annoys Alicia, she pays no attention to it and heads back upstairs. However, she senses that dark beasts are on her tail. And that's when one of Maynard's bugs breaks into the bar and unalives an unlucky dude. When Maynard reveals himself, another unlucky guy tries to run for his life, but he gets devoured by bugs the moment he steps outside. As for Alicia, she hears Luna crying from upstairs, only for her to rush in and see that a high wizard named Nia is about to unalive Nell. That brings us to the end of today's video.